Imagine being the wisest, richest king in history, gifted directly by God himself, yet still making choices so shocking, so scandalous, they tore your kingdom apart. This isn't just any king. This is the story of King Solomon and his 700 wives. Yes, 700 wives. How did the wisest man alive fall into such scandal? Let's dive into one of the Bible's most controversial stories. Solomon, a wise king, a blessed life. King Solomon, son of the legendary King David, began his reign favored by God. When God offered him anything he desired, Solomon famously requested wisdom, which pleased God greatly. 1 Kings 3:12, I will give you a wise and discerning heart, so that there will never have been anyone like you. With God's blessing, Solomon's wisdom became legendary, attracting leaders and admirers from all over the world. Solomon built the breathtaking temple in Jerusalem, becoming renowned for his wealth, intelligence, and success. The shocking twist, Solomon's 700 wives. But even great wisdom couldn't shield Solomon from his greatest weakness, his desire for women. Solomon didn't just marry one or two women. He married an astonishing 700 wives of royal birth, plus an additional 300 concubines. 1 Kings at 11:3. But here's where the real scandal began. Many of these women came from nations that worshipped foreign gods, the very gods Israel had been strictly commanded never to follow. 1 Kings 11:2. You must not intermarry with them, because they will surely turn your hearts after their gods. Yet Solomon, fully aware of this command, deliberately ignored it. For political power, for alliances, for desire, it was a compromise that would cost him everything. The spiritual corruption, betraying God. These foreign wives influenced Solomon's faith, slowly turning his heart away from God. The very man who built the Holy Temple in Jerusalem was now constructing altars for pagan gods, idols whose worship involved shocking rituals that went against everything Solomon once stood for. The Bible records this chilling reality clearly. 1 Kings at 11:4. As Solomon grew old, his wives turned his heart after other gods, and his heart was not fully devoted to the Lord his God. Can you imagine? The wisest man alive, the beloved son of King David, the chosen ruler of God's people, bowing before idols? This was scandalous on a level never seen before. The consequences, God's response. God, who had blessed Solomon abundantly, was deeply grieved and angered by this betrayal. He appeared to Solomon with a sobering judgment. 1 Kings at 11:11. Since this is your attitude and you have not kept my covenant, I will most certainly tear the kingdom away from you. Because of Solomon's shocking betrayal, God promised to divide Israel after Solomon's death. The nation would split into two, leading to centuries of conflict, suffering, and spiritual turmoil. Solomon's choices didn't just impact himself, they shaped Israel's entire future. Powerful lessons and reflections. So how could the wisest man in history fall so far? Solomon's scandal reminds us that wisdom alone is not enough. Even the wisest people can make foolish choices when they compromise their convictions or allow wrong influences into their lives. Reflect on this. Solomon had riches, power, and wisdom, but none of it protected him once he chose to ignore God's clear instructions. His desire for earthly pleasures overshadowed his devotion, leading him down a path of tragic spiritual destruction. Closing thought and call to action. What about us today? Is there something or someone in our lives pulling our hearts away from what's truly important? Could we, like Solomon, be allowing compromise to weaken our spiritual foundation? If Solomon's scandalous story shocked or challenged you, leave your thoughts below. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more powerful Bible stories. Stories that can still teach us life-changing lessons today. See you next time as we uncover another unforgettable truth from Scripture.